Hi, welcome to my channel. Today is the Mid-Autumn Festival. I'm wearing white because white is the color of autumn. So I'm wearing white for all the friends from the Northern Sphere. I wore green in my last video because in the Southern Sphere it is spring now, and green or light blue is the color of spring. I'm going back to green for my next video. Today, I would like to present a poem about how moon triggers a poet's longing for his love. As you all know, that the 15th of lunar August is the day for family reunion. It has been celebrated for over 1,000 years in Asia as a holiday for family to get together. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and medicine. If you like the content of my video, please click the like button and subscribe my channel. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. So if you would like to learn more about these subjects, please contact me. Here's my email address. The Mid-Autumn Festival originated from an ancient ritual of moon worship. Tianzhi, or the Sun of Heaven, was expected to perform rituals to sacrifice to the sun at the spring and the moon at the autumn. In Zhou Li Zheng Yi, or the correct interpretation of the Zhou Right, philosopher Zheng Xian of Han Dynasty and Kong Yingda of the Tang Dynasty collected a lot of information from many sources to present a rather detailed account of the ritual sacrifices to heaven, earth, the sun, and moon during the 4 seasons. One of the sources Kong Yingda cited was a comment from a Northern Wei Dynasty scholar named Cui Ling-en. Here is the quote. About all the sacrificial rituals for the sun and moon, Mr. Cui said, there are 4 rituals during a year to welcome the seasonal qi. Sacrifice to the sun should be in the eastern suburb. Sacrifice to the moon in the western suburb. Sacrifice to the sun in the morning on the day of the spring equinox. Sacrifice to the moon in the evening on the day of autumn equinox. These are the 2 of the seasonal rituals. For these 2 sacrifices, altars should be built for them. They should be conducted at their own altars respectively. These rituals were performed by emperors over the following 2 millennia during the Imperial China until the end of the last Qing Dynasty in 1911. The Qing built 4 altars for the seasonal sacrifices. They are called Tiantan, or the altar of heaven, Ditan, or the altar to earth, Ritan, or the altar of the sun, and Yuetan, or the altar of the moon. Here is a map of the 4 altars. Tiantan, or the altar for heaven, is in the southern suburb to the Forbidden City. Ditan, or the altar for earth, in the north. Ritan, or the altar for the sun, in the east. And Yuetan, or the altar for the moon, in the west. I also collected some photos of the 4 altars. The top round temple is the altar for heaven. The bottom square temple is the altar for earth. The temples are designed according to the Chinese cosmological belief of 天圆地方, or the heaven is round and the earth is square. The altar for the sun and the moon are quite different from the altars for the heaven and earth. As stated in the Zhou Li Zheng Yi, or the correct interpretation of the Zhou Right, the altar for the sun is a raised squared platform, and the altar for the moon is a paved round circle on the ground. Such royal ritual sacrifices to heaven, earth, The sun and moon later become public holidays for the commoners. By the Tang Dynasty, the 15th of August was officially designated as 中秋节, or the Mid-Autumn Festival. The officials had 3 days around the 15th of lunar August to celebrate the Moon Festival. This tradition has continued until today. The name of the Moon Festival is an English name popular in the West. I don't think the Chinese people ever called this holiday as Moon Festival. For the Chinese people, the Mid-Autumn Festival is more of a celebration for seasonal changes and families. Many poets composed poems to celebrate this holiday. The poem I'm reading today was composed by a famous Tang Dynasty scholar official named Zhang Jiu-ling. Zhang was the premier of the 9th emperor of Tang, Li Longji, from 733 to 736 AD. Zhang was regarded as one of the best 3 premiers of the whole Tang Dynasty. After he left the court, whenever someone was recommended to the Emperor Li Longji for the position, the emperor inevitably asked, 风度得如Jiu-ling否? Does he have Zhang Jiu-ling's elegant style? So you can see how much the emperor is fond of Zhang Jiu-ling. In 734 AD, An Lushan, a general defending the northern frontier at the time, was assigned to fight against the invading Khitan force, but was defeated by the Khitans. An Lushan was escorted to the capital to be disciplined. Zhang Jiu-ling said this to the emperor. An Lushan harbors a wild ambition, and it shows on his face. I suggest your majesty to execute him for his failure to prevent the future calamity. A little more than 30 years later, in 755 AD, An Lushan rebelled against the Tang court. I mean, although one should not be punished for crime that is yet to be committed, but this showed how well Zhang Jiu-ling can read people. This is an excellent ability for any leader. I can't help to imagine how much Chinese history would change if the Emperor Li Longji take on Zhang Jiu-ling's advice. Zhang Jiu-ling's literary talents was also admired by many scholars down the centuries. His poetic style was praised as 雅正冲淡, or elegant, honest, and unassuming. The poem we're reading today is a perfect example of this style. The title of the poem is 望月怀远, or Missing You While Looking at the Moon. Now, let me read the poem in Chinese first. 海上生明月，天涯共此时。情人怨遥夜，竟夕起相思。灭烛怜光满，披衣觉露滋。不堪盈手正，还寝梦佳期。Now, let's look at the first 2 couplets. 海上生明月，天涯共此时。情人怨遥夜，竟夕起相思。海 means sea. Sun means on top of something. 生 means grow. 明 means bright. 月 means moon. 天 means sky. 崖 means shoreline. 天涯 literally means the shoreline of sky. The phrase often refers to the furthest place from where one stands. So David and I translate it as a world away. 共 means share. 此 means this. 时 means moment. 情人 literally means lovers. But here it is a self-reference, so we translate it as I. 怨 means resent. 遥 means long. 夜 means night. 静 means a whole period of time. Xi means evening. 静息 means the whole evening. 起 means agitated. 相思 is a specific term for love sickness. Here the love sickness is for his love from the poet's first-person perspective. So we translate it as missing you. So the two couplets can be translated as, a bright moon grows out of the sea. We share this moment, even though you are a world away. I resent the long night ahead, having spent the whole evening missing you. 灭烛怜光满，披衣觉露滋。不堪盈手正，还寝梦佳期。灭 means put out. 烛 means candle. 怜 has many meanings in classical Chinese, mostly related to care and love. Here it means love or admire. David and I discussed about how to translate this character. We think it would be better to refrain from an emotive translation to a detached one. So we translate it with the two following characters of 光 meaning light and 满 meaning full, as moonlight shines all over my place. P means put on, 衣 means clothes, 觉 means feel, 露 means dew, 滋 means multiply. 不堪 means cannot, 盈 means fill up, 手 means hand, 赠 means give a gift. 盈手赠 means to hold in one's hand and give it as a gift. 还 means go back. 寝 means bedroom. 梦 means dream. 佳期 means wedding night. So the two couplets can be translated as, I put out the candle, the moonlight shines all over my place. I put on clothes as I feel the dew multiply. I cannot get a hold of the moonlight and give it to you. I'd better go back to my bedroom. Maybe I'll dream of our wedding night. The first couplet is quite similar to a very popular poem composed by an earlier poet of Tang Dynasty named Zhang Jiu-ling. Now, let me show you the two couplets by Zhang Jiu-ling, and you can see the connection between the two poems. 春江潮水连海平，海上明月共潮生。滟滟随波千万里，何处春江无月明。 The tide of Yangtze River rises to the sea level at spring. A bright moon grows out of the sea with the tide. The waves with glittering moonlight stretches for thousands of miles. Where on the Yangtze River is without the bright moonlight? This is just the first two couplets from Zhang Jiu-ling's very long poem. Maybe I'll translate Zhang Jiu-ling's poem in the future. It was a super long poem. We know very little about Zhang Jiu-ling except that he was from Zhejiang province and was a low-rank official at Shandong province during the first decade of the 8th century AD. However, his poem 春江花月夜, or the springtime night by the Yangtze River with the flowers under the moonlight, did not appear in any of the poetry collection during the Tang Dynasty. The earliest record of this poem was in a collection of Tang poetry by a poet from the Shang Dynasty. So we don't know which poem was circulated first among the scholars. But the imagery of a bright moon in the night sky above the sea became quite common throughout the Tang Dynasty, and Zhang Jiu-ling's poem about these imageries was the most famous one since the Song Dynasty. What is significant in this imagery of the bright moon in the night sky above the sea is its cultural and sociological meanings. The ocean where all the rivers end up eventually is the connection linking all the places separated by land and mountains. And the moon, which shines on everywhere, is another connection linking people who are separated by long distance. So the first couplet of Zhang Jiu-ling's poem makes a bold statement that even though the poet is separated from his love, he and she are connected by the ocean, which contains waters from everywhere. Furthermore, the bright moon in the night sky above the ocean is also the same moon wherever they are at this moment. Just as stated in Zhang Ruoxu's poem, the bright moonlight at this night shines on everywhere. It is this bright moonlight that connects the lovers, no matter how far away they are from each other. What is really wonderful in this poem is the shifting emotions brought on by the bright moonlight. In the second couplet, the poet resents the long, lonely night ahead because he could not be with his beloved. However, when he puts out the candle and sees the bright moonlight that fills up his palms, shines on everywhere he can see, he realizes that he is sharing the same moon with his love. This apparently cheers him up, so much so that he quickly goes back to his bedroom and happily falls to sleep, expecting to see his love in his dream. And he wants to go back to their wedding night in his dream. What a wonderful love poem! This is the happiest love poem I read so far. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and medicine. If you like the contents of my videos, please click the like button and subscribe my channel. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. So if you would like to learn more about these subjects, please contact me. Here's my email address. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you next time.